So today we have around 3 hours. Probably 1 hour will be spent on the previous topic. I promised you that I will take at least few questions from past papers and help you understanding the questions and then how to develop your answers. Now in the theory part we discuss in the class and the understanding you have and the practical examples you have, how to develop the answers and get the full marks for the answers. That is probably 30 minutes or so. In addition to that, we need to cover at least one more area, and for that I think better we spend time with this topic. We call it supply chain management. And supply chain management, I have uploaded that document also, but not the other topics. Not the other topics. One thing is we don't have much time. So let's try to get an idea. During the remaining time. Shall we slowly start with others come so that okay, remember the other day we started to talk about this area project management. Project management, and throughout the subject we have been talking about different types of processes and processes, how to manage them, design and manage them to produce products, create and deliver services. Right? In various different industries, they're talking about how these manufacturing processes, service creation processes and activities designed and managed and include as well. That is the project management. In fact, in your assignment, you study one organization, especially a service one, right? And their service operations. What are the existing processes they have designed and implemented to create and deliver the service they want to deliver to the market. So, in the same manner, we have completed several other topics also. The last one we have selected is project and project management part of it, because well, project management itself is a different subject, right? Plus, there are many applications in operations management. In this topic, we try to cover what are the applications of project management in operations, because some operations are arranged as projects. In other words, the processing type used in operations here, projects. The other day we understood what we mean by projects and their characteristics and other details. Did we discuss? So projects are specific, projects are different, and they have specific characteristics and more that we identify here. We basically consider a project as a non-repetitive activity, because most of the other processes are repetitive type, meaning repetitive again and again. The same process will not be repeated in projects. Instead, every project is single events, and that aims at one output, right? And that is unique. So constructing a building like this, one project. So construction companies, when producing different constructions, when managing different constructions, they need to have different projects managed by, we call them project managers. Project managers are also operations managers in the team, right? So they are project related operations are managed by project managers with his or her team. There can be project teams. And what they do is they have different phases of project. That means different activities to be performed in a sequential manner, step by step, arranged as phases. You know the meaning of phase, right? Phase 1. Upon completing phase 1 only, you can go to the phase 2. Likewise, phase 3. So there are phases, and each phase there can be activities to be completed, right? And we understood there those activities depend on these constraints. Yeah. The time allocated for the project and the scope of it. We understood this the other day. And also the budget allocated, that is a cost. Each project allocated with a budget, financial and non-financial resources, especially financial resources. So that is the cost that we can spend for different resources and activities and for management and everything. Right. So meantime, project managers are supposed to manage the quality aspect. Quality we know now. Right. There are expectations, there are standards. Right. So we need to, there are specifications, we need to maintain those quality levels, expected quality levels to be maintained. So project managers are expected to manage their projects aligning with these constraints. Otherwise, these constraints will manage project management. Right? So they tell us the deadline. If we don't manage it, the deadline is coming, approaching soon. So that we will have to expedite it and somehow manage it. So that is the idea. So as the scope and the cost. So managing it requires different activities. For studying purpose, we divide project management activities into these few specific activities. We discuss this. So what are the main project management activities? Project planning, one of the main things. Each project, depending on the nature of the project, they require around 30% efforts on planning. Planning is very important in most of the projects. So around 30% of efforts on planning at least. That involves in, but as we understood, setting the goal. What we need to achieve, identify it clearly, specify it clearly, right? And accordingly, decide the deadline, what is the time we need to complete it and all, and define the project. And arranging organization in the sense team. What type of project management team is needed, how that is managed and all, also part of planning. Clear? We will identify a few techniques, some tips, some tools used here, but under planning, project planning, these are the main activities we usually identify. And the other two activities would be like this. And I know for sure that as practitioners coming from industry, you may have involved in one or two projects at least in your life, being auditors or coming from financial management industries. Definitely, on day-to-day basis, you are engaged in projects. So, each audit engagement is a project as we discussed. So, how you manage your activities in your management, that is as projects. So you often you plan your projects and organize and schedule and then control and manage. Isn't so? So that is why this topic is important for many of you, unlike many other operations management topics. Right. Coming under the organizing part, there are certain activities like according to the activities, according to the phases of the project, decide which resources are needed where and how many resources and arrange them. That part of it. It relates to people, money, financial resources, and other supplies to specific activities and activities to each other. So we need to schedule the activities also. We will discuss it. Activities in phases. Do you think this as an important area? Hello, good morning. Saya para ini. Kalian negatif. So, do you think like planning, organizing, and scheduling important activities in project management. This start you can do it. Right? Why scheduling or organizing would be important in the project management? In order to complete the project on time, within the cost constraints, within the time constraints, we need to organize the resources. We need to schedule activities. And on the other side, to smoothly start and complete the project. We need project organizing and schedule to make sure to start each activity we have resources needed, like financial resources, people. Some projects are manageable, or labor intensive, and then they require different machines and all. So that is one. There is one important activity here, that is scheduling the activities to each other. That's also important. We'll take a little time to understand that part, because that is one area that you should study. What is it? Scheduling the activities to each other. That means in which order we are going to set the activity. Right. Right. How we are going to arrange the project. Hello, get me join, right? I will have to repeat the content again and again when every new member comes, but I will not do so because we have limited time today. So we start to continue project management topic. Projects are different, and we identified them characteristics. You may go through the recorded version of it, and these are the project management activities. Project planning, very important. Then organizing and scheduling. Another at least 25 to 30% of project related activities are around this. And then when it comes to a project management, the implementation part of it. So to start it, complete day-to-day activities, and each activity, each phase, and thereby come to an end, depends on how the management, project management and the team manage project activity controlling and managing. That is to how we practically implement the project activities as we plan, as we schedule. If there are any deviations, correct them and make sure you complete the project on time, covering the scope given and using the resources available. And that part is called project management activities, controlling and managing. That involves in monitors resources, costs, quality, and budgets, and accordingly revises to plans and shift resources to meet time and cost demands and meet the project goal as planned. Hope you can understand. So those are the project management activities. Any quick questions about what we understood so far? Hello. What is not clear? What is not clear? Okay. Then here we identified what are the specific activities we are expected to complete in each project related activities, project management related activities. And for that, different tools and techniques, methods, practices are used. So these few slides introduces you what are the different tools, techniques, methods used in each phase of the project management. before the project starts, especially in the planning steps, planning and organizing part, and then planning and organizing or scheduling part of it. So according to the schedules, according to the resources arranged, start the project and manage it, and they are mostly controlling the activities. And for that, what tools and techniques use? As you can see them here. So these are some of the main tools, tips, techniques about which we are going to discuss quickly. Not everything, but only a few selected techniques. So project management is a big area that we don't have enough time to discuss. So you can decide what you want to know. I will discuss them accordingly. Especially, we are not going to talk about this part of it, how to control and manage and complete projects, right? Which is very important, but that takes longer time. And initially, what we try to do is understanding these two steps, and accordingly learn how to plan projects and how to schedule projects more systematic, rational. So that is what we try to do. Anything else you want to ask about projects and project management? Have you studied project management before for some other programs? No. No. Yes. For what? The study management. Yes, yes. Because certain okay, is that? For instance, managers should know about these project management concepts and techniques in order to perform better in their positions. And you are also as auditors, as accountants, as finance managers one day you are going to perform. The project management knowledge will be useful because at management levels, whoever the manager you are going to become, you need to have project management knowledge and more importantly your skills and the competence. And unlike these basic concepts are important to understand it, but more than that, what is needed today is how to use more efficient tools and techniques for project management. And for that, there are well-designed software solutions for project management. Software solutions are there. You may see, I don't know whether I have included them here. Yes, some of the non-software available for project management. So each software, in a way, unique, but provides most of the required templates, designs to initially schedule the project and successfully arrange the or specify the resources needed, and then start and continue and review and monitoring. That is what. Sometimes you will get the opportunity from your organization side to be to involve in some of these training programs. So don't miss them. Get the opportunity, grab the opportunity, study project management because that is very important. So any big questions? This is where we were. Any big questions about projects and project management? Those are examples. The names of organizations. Here, these are different brand names or service providers providing different software packages for project management. I will talk to different organizations. Project managers are there, especially let's say IT sector. Now set into dialogue, right? When it comes to their different projects, design and manage it, they use project management techniques, project management software solutions. I'm not going to provide you specific details which company use which one, right? These are the most popular project management software solutions available. Total one. And Microsoft Project Cockpit. These two are well known and other things. You need this more details, just Google it. And even tutorials and other details are available. So whenever opportunity comes, grab such courses and study project management. And there are some online project management courses which are free of charge, as I know. Right? They are positive source. Clear? Hello? These are not examples. These are different service providers actually. Brand names providing software solutions for project management. And SAP is also having a module for this. Right. So under these different project management activities, here we try to at least understand a few of these tasks. Right? I'm not going to describe things in detail, but at least project planning and project scheduling activities with little module. Okay. Now coming to project planning, it says in the textbooks we can clearly identify what areas should be considered when planning the projects and all, and accordingly these are some of the main areas to cover. Right, under project plan, establishing the project objectives and accordingly defining the project, and then of course this create work breakdown structure of the project. That means different phases, under each phase different activities identified, and accordingly determine the resource requirements. So as the last step here, forming the organization in the sense what type of team is needed, how the project team should be organized, forming the project team. Each project is given to a team headed by the project manager. There can be different structures there. You have got doubts? Please, I mean, don't keep them in your mind, just ask, right? So these are the main project planning activities. Now, when it comes to, I mean, anything you want to know a little more details here? When it comes to the first two activities, establishing project objectives and defining projects scope and all, in your understanding, how such activities are performed, completed by whom? Do you have any examples in your mind? We already discussed some examples, but so then I mean you can get the clear understanding. Any projects? Who? I mean the answer for the question who involves here. This is the project manager. Is that? Yes. We need to appoint one leading person to the project. We call it the project manager or the project coordinator, and that will be the senior management also involved there. Right? And what is the other party? Project team will be appointed, and then probably we need to get the support of project team also. But in In addition to these internal parties, there is another external party with whom we need to work. Party? Project experts or project consultants, their expertise, their experience, their knowledge is needed, yeah, to a great extent, yes. That is one. In project management, as a company, we are going to design it, manage it for a customer. We need to understand their requirements and accordingly specify the scope of the project. What we need to deliver to them. Can you understand? So always we need to look at their requirements, their deadlines, their budgets, what they expect. And don't underestimate it. Finally, what matters most is whether we can meet their requirements through our successful completion of the project. They assess the performance of our project. What do you know about it? How projects are designed? Any idea? Assume a construction project, building construction, or flyover construction, flyover bridges, or any other highway projects, right? Extending the airport, or new runway project, right? Or let's say within the factory, they are going to within the area, they are going to put up a new factory complex and arrange the production lines and start producing. Right? So expansion of our factory. Is that a project? Is that a project? Yeah. Then of course, let's say supermarket network. They have anyway, let's say the physical expansion of their branch network. They have one or two branches within a city, so they need to open up another branch, another outlet. That's about it. Can you understand it? In a way, those are not complicated projects like construction or any other highway construction and any other. Assume a factory, a manufacturer is looking for a new product, keep investigating on new market opportunities, identify new product ideas, convert the product idea into a product, and plan the other activities and launch it. Can we arrange it as a project? Hello? Can you see them as a project? Those are the projects. And that is why the project management is needed. In fact, here, I will come to that a little later. Right? So hope you can understand it. Right? So when it comes to these two project objectives and project scope, most of the traditional projects takes a longer time for planning. So it might take few weeks to few months to plan the project initially, because defining the plan with all the details is important to most of the traditional projects. You identify activities, phases, resources, how you are going to complete, when you are going to complete, everything at the beginning of the project. That is the nature of things. However, that is only the traditional way of looking at projects, and that approach, as you can see somewhere here, when it comes to project planning, uh, such traditional approach is called waterfall projects planning. Waterfall projects planning. The idea is this: like a waterfall, from the top to the bottom. It always comes from top to the bottom. So you start everything well planned at the beginning and accordingly do the project. Right? These are well defined projects. You understand it? They get the support of experts, senior management, project management, customers, extensively discuss and identify what we are going to do, how we are going to do. And such we call in a project management the waterfall project. Whereas most of the modern projects, contemporary projects, they realize that planning everything at the beginning is not practical sometimes and challenging. Sometimes at the beginning we also don't know what we are going to do and what our project scope should be. It's only when they start and keep doing it, they gradually learn this is the scope of the project and this is how it should be designed and all. In that way, while working on the project, they learn, they plan. Right? So that is the latest approach. And that we call agile projects. Hope you may have heard of it. Agile project management and all that has become more popular, more effective these days. A total new approach for project planning and project management, and thereby more challenging, complex projects will be started with minimum preparation, minimum prior activities. But as they move forward with the project, they gradually learn and expand the project into a more comprehensive, complicated projects. And that approach is called agile project. Where the management, customers, and the project management team is ready to flexibly arrange the project. Most of the software projects, software development projects and all, if you talk to software developers, software managers, they will tell you they have a brief idea. They have an idea like this is what we need to do, right? And a little more details about how they are going to do, but no specific details at the beginning. As they move forward, they specify. So it works with many unknowns and all. As they evolve in the project, they learn and they specify. So I just shared that just to get an idea. Any quick questions you want to ask about it? Defining projects. Two approaches. Waterfall approach, which is traditional. At the beginning, they specify everything. And the other one is agile projects. Agile projects that begins with a basic understanding, minimum understanding, as they move forward later. In your idea, in your opinion, which approach, project management approach would be more suitable for a project? You think waterfall approach? How about others? What do you think? I'm just asking. Whatever you feel, that's all right. He says waterfall projects, I can understand the reasons he used it. If you specify, due to what reasons you think what kind of arrangement or approach would be more appropriate?
Project cost is not significant thing prior to start.
Okay.
When it comes to project, they have estimate.
Right. Okay. So one main concern is the project cost that we need to estimate accurately. That is difficult according to this opinion. That is difficult when you don't have the project scope at the beginning. So to have more specificity to the project, and so as more specific phases and activities and costs for each of them, we need to start with more comprehensive project details. True. Right. True. Any other arguments? Any other different views? Right. It's an important understanding. It depends on the project type. What type of project we are going to manage as well. So the first approach, that is waterfall approach, would be appropriate for a project where we can specify things at the beginning, like a building a construction. We need to have a plan. We need to have phases. Then we can identify what activities, what resources needed, and according to start and conclude plan. So when your requirement, the scope of the project is clear to you, and that is known to the customer, the product designers, and all. When your output is known and stable, you can use waterfall approach efficiently. On the other side, at the beginning, if you don't know, it's not so clear what you are going to do, what is needed, right? But something is needed. Right? No space, I mean, you know very little about it. No specificities. So how can we identify phases and activities and other details? So as the cost. Tentatively, we will have to allocate some funds that we need to manage efficiently, but we need to get into the sea and get into the river and see what's happening there. Especially like software development projects and all. Customer may explain you what their requirement is. You don't know the exact details, what type of solution would work there. So you have to start from sometimes zero. So likewise. It depends on. Say for example, now one of the main event taking place here in Sri Lanka, the presidential election that's going to happen 21st of September. So let's say campaign of each candidate is a project managed by a team. And under the project team, there can be different teams working. And for a project like that, can they specify everything at the beginning? Campaign project? No, at the beginning, they know the requirement and the time frame and brief idea about the resources available. As they move forward with the project, they will have to design and it will be different things because other candidates will come up with their strategies, their activities, their campaigns. So you have to change it and roll it out to get the maximum results we want. So we don't know what is needed at the beginning. Can you understand it? Right. So agile approach would be highly effective in projects like those. Software solution development, advertising campaigns, new technology rollout or since we run short of time, I just explain these two with little details to show you how important these activities. I'm not going to do the same for all the other steps. Any other questions? Clear? Then, of course, especially in a project, we need to identify the project phases, and under each phase, how different activities should be arranged, how these activities are linked to each other, right? And that part of it is called work breakdown structure, especially for a project like waterfall project. You should have a kind of specified structure, and that is called work breakdown structure of the project. Say for example, slide number, I don't know the number here, work breakdown structure. So for our understanding, we can look into these subcategories. A project may consist of few major tasks. A few major tasks, or that we can identify different phases in. One major task may consist of subtasks coming under it. That is the level 3. And within a major task, within subtasks within a major task, for each subtask, there can be activities to be completed. Then there is a level 4 according to this structure. This is called as work packages, together contribute to a subtask. Say for example, now what you see here is a operating system development, that is Windows 10. Somewhere in 2008, 2005 or so. So, for understanding, we can identify the levels of the project like this. So, the level 1, that is a complete output, that is the operating system Windows 10 that is developed and ready to launch, and that has main tasks that they have divided into 3. Level 2, software design, cost management part of it, and system testing. This major tasks. And under each major task, the third level, the subtasks like developing the UGIs, and under the same, another one activity is ensure compatibility with earlier versions and all. Right? Just to get an idea, there can be some other activities not mentioned here, just to get an idea. And level 4, that is work packages or activities coming under the subtasks. Say for example, now one activity, one sub-activity, subtask is ensure compatibility with earlier versions. So how to make it compatible with Windows 8, 7, and Windows Vista? Those are level 4. Totally. We should look at it. We should identify how these activities happen, and that part of it is called in project management. That part of it is called work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure. You as managers will have to use some of these knowledge. Any questions? Okay. If you are planning your wedding, you'll have to identify, right? You'll have to identify your. No, I just look at you, right? Others are. Okay. You'll have to identify the main level 1, level 2, 3, and 4. So, thanks. I'm going back if you don't have any other questions. Then of course, determine resources that you can identify, right? So for each area of the project, what are the resources? So what are the key resources required for a project? You as accountants or coming from finance background, you identify fund requirements. Yeah. Funds, money, cash, financial resources. True. In addition to that, yeah, that's very important. Project success, project funding, project investment, and then the cash flow. Cash flow management within the projects. Very important. Yeah, that is one of the main resources. Other than that, machinery, tools, equipment, machinery, and other physical resources. Okay, what else? Then, team, the labor, human resources. What type of human resources? What talents? What skills? Because depending on them, the cost of it. Say for example now typical examples in project management now could be sports events like IPL, LPL. With each team, each again franchise team, right? So the team management is responsible for successfully planning the season and accordingly identify which players they are going to hire and how they are going to win the franchise, the league. Project management. One of the lucrative businesses in the world now. Since so, earlier the football, soccer, and now this part of the world, you can't even imagine the money being circulated. Profits they can earn. Hello, you missed the first part of it. Good morning. Go through the recorded lecture. You will understand it. Otherwise, you will not understand that part. Right. Yeah. We are talking about project management, and now we are somewhere here, determining resources and other things. And as I told you, the other one, another project planning activity, we call it the forming organization, which means how to arrange the team, project management team, forming the project team. So project requires often temporary structure because each project may operate for a specific time period. After that, that is dissolved. Temporary structures are used often. So for projects, experts, specialists are used. Could be from the same organization, maybe outsiders, for temporary requirements, representing different sections of the business, departments of the organization, get recruited. And usually a project is headed by the project manager. Project manager. One day you have to work as project manager of a small to medium scale project. You need to have some of these understanding. Even now you will be working as project manager. Project managers. It involves in coordinates the activities, how the project related responsibilities, activities will be divided among members, who are responsible for what, right? Authority, will be specified here. And in addition to that, this involves in monitoring monitors the schedules and costs and all. So in that respect, that is important. In some organizations, the nature of their processes are awful projects. They every time involving projects, unlike the main project that there is single output at time, the nature of it is using projects again and again. That is the approach. In such a case, they call it permanent project structure is needed, and that is called matrix organizations. Matrix organizations. So what you see here is a simple example. So for a given project, depending on the requirement, a project team will be arranged, headed by the project manager. That is for project 1. For another requirement, another project team, that is again a temporary arrangement, headed by the project manager for the project 2, and some other experts. So these are temporary arrangements. Whereas the one that is called matrix organization, so there are designated representatives from each area who are coordinating the activities again and again on continuous basis. And such an arrangement is called matrix organization. So, say for example, construction companies. When they undertake different construction projects, for each construction they have a different construction team, because that is their business. That is how the operations are arranged there. So to look after finance side of that project, finance manager is there. Marketing part of it, marketing manager is there. More importantly, the project management and the HR side of it. So for another project, that's a designated, and such we call matrix organization. That is suitable for some industries. Even for audit firms, the same structure, I think, to a great extent, that works. Because audit firms, they require an arrangement like this when completing their audit engagements. So, same name is used for different projects. Talking about project management, complete, and we are now in the step of 1. And the first step, project planning. We discuss most of these details under project planning. Completed. Any big questions? As I told you, most of the traditional projects, waterfall projects, may require at least 30% of their efforts on project planning. I just mentioned because there is that involved. The entire success depends heavily on how successfully you plan the project. At least 30%. Now, when it comes to some other details like where this project organization works best, right? Some details are given here. Then coming to project manager, in the team, their role, their contribution, the project manager's role, project manager's contribution is highly visible. So to have a successful project, more than anything else, what is needed? More efficient, more effective project manage. You as a manager should develop certain project management skills and competencies because you are going to become project managers soon. So study, find little more details. What are the traits? What are the characteristics required for project managers? What are the skills and competencies required by project managers? How to develop them? There can be various different types of skills and competencies. Planning skills, technical skills, financial and budgeting skills, coordinating skills, because you will have to work with different parties. And essentially, a project manager should be a good HR manager. Human relation skills, right? How good is you can work with others. And then, of course, monitoring, rewarding, motivating others. No one will be there. No one else would be there from the organization side. Project manager will have to keep them motivating, get their involvement and commitment and complaint. It's challenging, frustrating on the other side because they'll have to look after everything on behalf of the organization. And the project team may be supportive, sometimes may not be. How to get their commitment, how to motivate them. More importantly, how to communicate with them. So I'm emphasizing it here. To become an effective project manager, you need to develop, inculcate certain skills, competencies within you. So they are very important. Some more details are given here. The project manager is responsible for making sure that all necessary activities are finished in order and on time. And the project comes in within the budget and other resources. And it meets the quality goals. The people assigned to the project receive motivation, direction, and information, and they keep them engaged with it. Not easy at all. So project managers are supposed to perform multiple roles. It often refers to the role of a drummer in an orchestra or a musical band. Drummer, most of the others may play with only one equipment, one instrument. But drummer will have to do multiple things and maintain the beat. Then background. It's like performing as a drummer is a way of playing. Drummer is better again. Drummer is. Kalau gitu kan, amat udah start kanetnya, gerganet ya, tak, dulu. So like should be able to coach others, communicate well, and able to organize activities from a variety of disciplines, from finance to marketing to technical side to HR side. But they are well paid. If you're doing a good company, they will pay. And not, if not here, in any part of the world, there's huge demand. Good career prospects for project managers. And that is where you need your understanding on latest project management softwares and all, and latest competencies. So you work on it, you will definitely learn more. Right. with that, I think we can conclude that part, project management part. And let me discuss few things under project scheduling as well, because that is also important skill that I think for you both. I'm not going to cover the control and monitoring part of it, control and managing part, but scheduling part. Project scheduling. Project scheduling. Those who join later understand now where we are. We are the second step of project management, that is called project scheduling. So far we discussed on the first one, that is project planning. So this is how we understood that. So these are the three main activities in project management: project planning, organizing and scheduling, and controlling and managing. That is what we understood it here. Project planning may comprise of these activities. We completed it now. And this is what we are going to start now, that is project scheduling. Quickly cover within 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not going to discuss more about project controlling, managing and project expediting, project crashing, and other techniques. Right? The area we are going to cover now will be highly useful. Project scheduling. Now there are two main areas. One is scheduling resources, but scheduling resources. What does that mean? To start and complete the project on time, what resources we need, when they are needed, from where we are going to arrange them, and everything. That is resource scheduling. Scheduling the resources. Like the labor, machinery, financial resources, vehicles, and various other things. Right? However, that depends on scheduling the project activities. That is the most important part we need to understand it here. We call it scheduling the project activities. And activities to each other. How we are going to arrange it. That is the most important part coming under project scheduling. More specifically, these are the other details. Okay, can understand there are two things. One is this, and the other one is resource scheduling. But this schedule the project activities and activities to each other, so that we can identify other resources needed, and more importantly, we can determine project timing, when to start, when to finish, when each task can be started, and then the cost of it. Cost of each task and cost of the entire project we finalize in this step. As I told you, around 25 to 30% efforts will be required on project scheduling. So together, project planning and project scheduling resulted for 55 to 60 at least. of the work. How successfully you plan it and scheduling determines how efficiently and effectively you can implement. Then just to get an idea how important these steps are. When it comes to project scheduling, I hope you remember in the previous step, what are the main, what is the main project, level 1, what are the major tasks, level 2, what are the sub-tasks, level 3, and what are the activities, level 4. Activities has been identified. Now it's a matter of scheduling them. So for that we need something called precedence relationship. How these activities are related to each other, how these phases are related to each other. Precedence. You will understand it. I mean, you know what it is, but you will understand it with an example. And sequencing activities. How to arrange them one by one. Sequencing. Line them up. And accordingly determining the activity times, activity costs. And based on that, estimating the requirements like material requirements and worker requirements. And thereby, with all these activities, we will be able to identify and determine what we call critical activities of the project. What are the most important activities of the project that we should not delay, that we should not postpone. Such we call critical activities. If we delay the critical activities, it will delay the project due date. You know, the time is one main constraint. If we delay the critical activities, end date will be extended. Let's quickly identify that with an example so that you can use it in your practical whenever it is needed. By any chance, have you involved in project scheduling before? Maybe not many organizations on a daily basis you may have doing it, you may have done it. Haven't you? No. You are doing it but without knowing, without thinking much. So this is the technique we use, and there are different techniques in fact, different methods, but one main, there are different techniques, but I will discuss one or two techniques here. So slide number 21 shows you what are the purposes, what are the objectives of project scheduling. Spend 2 minutes, you can understand it. For what purpose we do the project scheduling? Is that clear? anything that is not clear? To show the relationships of each activity to others and to the whole project. To identify the precedence relationships among activities, sequence, and then to encourage the setting of realistic time constraint, time estimates, and cost estimates for each activity so that we know the resources required. The realistic rather than optimistic. Realistic. What is the difference? You know it more sensible manner. When you can communicate, what resources are in. Realistically, you can assess them and help make better use of resources like people, money, other materials by identifying the critical bottlenecks in the projects so that you can manage it better. So, in that respect, project scheduling plays a crucial role. And for that, there are different techniques. One simple but still heavily used technique is contracts. That's why I told you. You may have developed some contract, haven't you? You have developed some contract. Now, according to that, now you see, so you line up the main tasks of the project and show it on a time scale that gives you an idea when that will be started, when it is continued, and parallelly how the other activities will be. So this is a very simple but highly used project scheduling. Haven't you used it? Hello? Haven't you used it? No. Sometimes yes. So start using it. That's very important. That gives you an idea. This is a very simplest, most simplest way, but still it gives you an idea. Now it shows when to start each activity, so and how long they will continue. And more importantly, what are the other parallel tasks that you can start and continue. And accordingly, you can identify for each. In this case, this is January, February, March, I think. Right? Yeah. For each month. So for this can be developed for each week. And accordingly, you can identify the fund requirements for each week, other material requirements for each week, and more importantly, labor requirements for each week. If you're planning building a house, you can use it. So that's a project. If you plan your wedding, you can use it. When you plan your, do you have a final year project? Research project? And research, yeah. You will be asked to prepare Gantt. So when you are going to start, how you are going to complete it? A picture, I think, and a like any other project plan, right? So you will have to just show it. Anyway, the success depends on how carefully you design it, and then whether you put that into action. Yeah. Do you need any more details about Gantt charts? I don't think so. Hope you will start using it wherever possible. Now there can be certain even services on regular basis, although projects are not repeated. For some processes, projects are needed. As I told you earlier. Right. So this is an example for a delta H. Right. When that is landed and then until that is departed, that is taken off. So they will have very limited time and many activities to be completed. Have you seen this motor? Motor car races, Motorola, races, Formula. Formula races. Removing tires, old four, and fixing them, and send the driver back to the track. Now that affects on the completion time. So they schedule, they arrange, they manage such activities as projects and planning in the most efficient manner, most effective manner, so that they can complete the entire project within the shortest time possible. Have you seen that? In which order they complete it and send it back to the track projects. So in the same manner, aircrafts, airline services, either they have rented aircrafts or they need to maximize the usage of aircraft. So for that, they need to keep them on flying. Minimum time on landing. Can you understand it? So that is the challenge of operations. Keep it flying every time. That generates money, profits. And then there is expenses. You should keep your aircraft flying. So to maximally utilize the aircrafts, right, according to the technical specifications, how to arrange all the other operations to make sure you quickly complete all the activities which are routine in a way. Each landing would require some of these activities. Unlike Sri Lanka, many other countries, the railway. Have you seen, we call them metro services? Cover certain main districts, main cities, and all metro services. How clean the trains they use, and how efficient they don't miss few seconds. Sharp at the sharp the last minute, last second. That is. How come? They schedule the activities in such a way. So what you see here is a kind of a project schedule or Gantt chart that shows what are the different activities to be done and what are the sub activities and the time activities given, time targets given. So parallelly, they are working on different areas from passenger handling to baggages to fueling to cargo and mail to other things, right? And loading the passengers and the next baggages, and arrange the flight ready to departure within how many minutes? Maximum of 38 minutes. Okay, easy. And for that, have you probably you haven't seen it, right? So they use most of these project scheduling techniques and tools. And for that, now they use most of the software solutions. So they identify before landing how many minutes prior to landing each work should have been waiting to start their work, and for that, how the resources should be arranged, and for that, how other this can you understand it? It is like we go to the checking counter. There's this. I mean, after checking, we go on get into the flight, right? To make sure there are no delays. How hard they have to work. Can you understand it? That comes from operational scheduling. Not only one time, again and again they have to do the same. So they use more comprehensive detail. They have to use different types of workers. Training, recently recruited, and managers. Anyhow, they have to make sure and give excuses. Hope you can understand it. Can you develop something like this for your audit engagements? The operations you manage and make your life easier. Hello? Are you doing it? Yeah. Doing it or not? Karna dekha. Karna lati na. Karna. What kind of technique you use? Mainly timelining because balance. What aspects you consider? What it work? How that is divided? Different tasks. Okay, right. And then depending on each parallel task you start, how you allocate each task to different members in the team. Okay, so that you use it. Great. What else? Determining the cost part of estimating the cost for each day or each week. Is that total? Okay. So likewise, you're using it. Right. Let me show you one more technique here. Have you studied these two techniques before? Something called CPM. Have you? Yeah, critical path method. Where have you used it? Used it? Hello? In which subject or for what purpose you have used it? CPM. What can you do? What is it? Management accounting, okay. Management accounting for certain techniques. Is that? Do you remember the technique where you used it? Where did you use it? In management accounting. Well, in operations management and project management, you need to you should be able to use it. Right. So let me take you through um, one example. So, producing a project plan that includes all the details, what tasks to complete, what are the different activities, and identify the total resource requirement for the plan, and then assign different resources to each task and all. And for that, how can we use this technique? Either CPM or PERP. CPM stands for critical path method, whereas PERP stands for project evaluation and review technique. There are some similarities here between these two techniques and some differences, but anyway, we commonly use it for scheduling project tasks. And accordingly, these are the 6 main steps required when using CPM technique or PER technique. With that example, let's quickly identify, and with that, we can conclude this topic and go for the feedback. Right, these are the steps. Define the project and prepare the work breakdown structure that we discussed earlier. Level 1, level 2, 3, and 4 activities. And then, in case of exam questions, such will be given. What are the steps? What are the activities in which order they should happen and all? In case of practical situation, you need to identify the work breakdown structure and estimate the time requirements and decide when we call it sequencing, right? In which sequential manner we are going to arrange that. Illegal construction. Before laying the foundation, you need to arrange the ground preparation, soil testing and testing and after completing only you can go to the foundation part. After putting the foundation only you can start the construction part, the structure, and then thereafter before planning the village we need to find a partner. Then only we should start planning the village, and then of course we need to fix a date, find a hotel, and then plan the other sequencing. Develop relationships among activities. Accordingly, these are the new things I for many of you. For the network, we have to use this network technique, network diagrams. Draw the network connecting all the activities and accordingly follow the other steps. I will quickly help you with that step. I don't know whether you have used this technique, network diagrams. Have you? Hello? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Now, with this technique, you will be able to answer these questions related to the project. Like, when will the entire project be completed? What are the critical activities or critical tasks in the project? We'll be able to answer which are the non-critical activities that we can delay to some extent. And then we can also answer a question like this even, what is the probability that the project will be completed by a specific date? And other questions that we can answer. Is the project on schedule, behind the schedule, or ahead of the schedule? Is the money spent equal to the budget, shorter than or the lesser than the budget or greater than the budget? Are there enough resources available to finish the project on time? And also, if the project must be finished in a shorter time than planned, how can we do that? What is the way to accomplish this with cost constraints and things like this? And for that, we use let's focus on the CPM method, which is more often used. So that is called critical path analysis in project management. Software solutions, when you feed all the details, it generates, but practically we are going to do it for a simple project and manually learn how to schedule the project activities. So this is about the critical path analysis and the critical path. You'll understand. When we use it for our requirement, we refer to these time concepts, time frames. We call it ES, EF, LS, and LF. So you will understand what it is as you go forward. Right? So earliest start, earliest finish, and the other one, latest start and the latest finish. You will understand. And for that, we use in networking. What is it? Network diagrams. We use two main symbols here. One is called no. call it activity node. And the other one is the flow. There we use two symbols in network diagrams. A node may be a circle like this, and flow. We can show the flow using the arrow. Node is a circle. It's a node. Node. It could be a circle or some, like here you will see it as a rectangular shape as well. You can denote it in this way as well. So, not clear? Node. Not node, it is node. N-O-D-E. Node can become zero again. It's node. It's node. Because we use this node, either this symbol or this one, to denote the time of the task and accordingly calculate the project time. You will understand it with an example, and for that I will use this simple one. And the details are given here, answer is also given here, but you can simply understand. For that you need to do the calculation. So what I have drawn here, node can be either a circle or rectangle shape symbol. So our data, keep it recorded. We can divide it into two, right? And again, each part into three. So this is a node that we use for date calculation. A node may comprise of these areas. If you use this symbol, it is divided into three values. So assume now in an exam question you will be given this, like this, right? In case of practical situation, if you schedule the project, what you should do? You should identify the tasks or activities, and then of course you need to estimate the accurate task activity duration. And what is this column? You should also know the relationship between activities. When can we start? After which activity we can start the other? That we call precedence requirements. Precedence requirements. That's also. So we should know these three first of all, related to a project and its activities. Project activities and their durations. And then predecessors, immediate predecessors of precedence requirements. And if we have the other details like labor requirements for each task, machine requirement for each task, or other supplies or financial resources, we can also use them and schedule. The duration is given in, let's say, I can't exactly remember, that is weeks or days, right? It could be weeks, let's say. sorry, it's in days. I'm sorry. Duration is given in days. So these are in days. So based on this, as the initial phase, we need to develop this network diagram. How to do that? I didn't explain you this before so that you need to quickly understand it. So we need to show these activities on a network diagram. That is simply a diagram that shows in which order we are going to complete these activities. Using two symbols we identified here, node and flow. And the node that we use here has 6 sides, 6 areas, like I showed you. Now, ES, EF, LS, LF. In the middle, there is definition and flow over task. So you'll be familiar with this as we move forward. Just follow this step, you will understand. Now, give it a try to put these activities into a network diagram using a node, using nodes and flow. So how to do that? That is what you need to quickly understand. So you need to first of all look at from where to start this project. In other words, what should be the first activity or activities that we can begin with based on the information given here. If you are to do it for a practical example, you have to decide it, right? Now, technically, from where the project can begin? From which activity? Hello? There are activities from A to K. These are different activities. Now, technically, from where it can begin? Any idea? Do you get any idea? B. Is that? A. Why? Why? That is the most important part. The reason. Why? You may be correct, yeah? I believe. No immediate predecessor. Is that? That should be the answer. So we should look at the task or tasks that can be started without any predecessor. That means no any prior task. You can simply start from there. Now, accordingly, there is only one task here that we can start with without any prior task. So that should be A. Okay. I will just show it in a simple node here, but technically you should develop it like the one that they use it here, right? So that has divided into 2 and again into 6, right? So likewise, we have to show it in a way like this, but I will simply show you a circle, right? Because answer is given there. So you start it with A. So accordingly, you can schedule the other tasks. Now you start with A. Then we should look at the other activities and their predecessors. One easy way to do it, consider the next activity, right? And check whether we can start it with the previous activity. Now activity B, that is in line. So according to this, A is the predecessor of that. That means after A, or after completing A, B can be started. So that can be shown in a way like this. So the task B can be started after A. That's simple. Right. Then we should look at the next in line, that is C and the predecessor. What does that mean? After B, we can start C. So C can be started after B. Right. So likewise, give it a try to complete this simple network diagram for this project. Keep continuing it, draw it, then only you will learn. Coming to the next task. Are you ready? Ready? Coming to the next task, next activity, that is D, and of which the predecessor is A. What does that mean? After A, we can straight away start D. Can you understand? Right. So after A, D can be started. They can be started. Let's expedite this because we have very little time. And how about E then? Task E after A. There is another task here, that is E, that can be started straight away after starting A, after finishing A. And how about F? After completing F, after completing A, F can be completed. Right. So most of the activities depend on A, isn't so? And then of course we have G, that can be started after A. Another activity is there, that is G, that can also be started after A. Now, don't miss activities here, otherwise your network diagram will be wrong. Carefully consider each activity and the predecessor and develop your network diagram. Now, after, for H, what is the predecessor? That is F. So, what does that mean? After F, H can be should be started. And about J, the next activity, that should be started after both C and D only. C and D. After both C and D, we should place task D. Is that? And then coming to K, the last task of the project, that depends on the successful completion of 4 tasks, 4 activities, that is E, that's E. And then G here, and then H coming from here, and J coming from here. After completing all 4 activities, only we can start. Okay. So we simply draw a network diagram for the information given here. So you should be able to the network diagram for the data given. Practically, if you have to manage it, you need to identify the activities, task times, and precedence requirements and draw it. Clear? Any doubts? Any questions? Now assume that, just assume task B does not have any immediate predecessor. Right? Task A does not have, and B also does not have any immediate predecessor. According to the information given here, just assume how you should understand, how you should draw it. Hello? Do you get my question? Not only A, B also do not have predecessors. What does that mean? You can start with both. That means you can start these without any prior transfer. A independent, B also independent. And so there can be two beginnings to the project. It is possible. Right? So parallelly you start from both ends, A and B. Understand it? That is why the answer. What is the rationale? When to start? From where to start? Task for the activities that does not have predecessors. Right. Now let's quickly continue. Now we have provided the details, activity duration that we use in calculating the project completion timeline or the project CP. Okay. Now these this technique we call it AON, activity on node. So this is how the 6 quadrants here will be used. Right. ES, D, I'm referring to this data. So every node we need to have these 6 cages. Every node here, not only A, B, C, everywhere, right? We should have these 6 quadrants, 6 areas, 6 cages. What is the first one? ES, earliest starting time of the activity. And the second one, that is duration. And third one, earliest finish of the activity. That is the upside of the node. Usually that is divided into the downside of it, LS, data start, and slack offload, and then data switch. Clear? So likewise, you may see that when there is developed a framework or network map like this. Now I will quickly show you how to do the calculations and estimate the project completion time and all, just to get an idea. Or the answer is there. Because this is important. Now this is how these calculations are done. It happens in 2 ways. First we go forward. Right? Forward calculations are there, and then we go backward. In the forward flow, we complete the upper side of the node. On our return back flow, backward pass, we complete the lower side of the node. Clear? Write it down somewhere. Right. In the forward flow, we complete the upper side of the node. These 3 lines, these 3 areas. Backward calculations, we complete the lower side of the node. in most of the network diagrams, before coming to the starting point here, we draw this as well. Now we have to start. So it begins with 0, right? Start with 0, right? So from there, right? And that's also shown on most of the network diagrams. Start. As you see in this diagram. So there, let me begin from there. That is how it happens. Right? So project final calculation will start from here. That is from 0. And that is taken to the earliest start here of the activity A. Or whatever that we begin with. ES is taken from here. Then for the activity A, we look at what is the duration, because since in the middle here we should show the duration of the task activity. Now according to the information here given here, task A 5 days. So 5. Right. So you may look at the you have drawn it. Otherwise you can look at the handout. The information is given here. I'll elaborate it there so that you can quickly, but you can write it down. You have drawn it. So this is how. So we begin with 0, and that is taken as the ES. Then what is the duration? That is 5 days. So accordingly we calculate what we call earliest finish time. 0 plus 5, 5. 0 plus 5, that is duration. So earliest finish is 5 days. And in the 5 days, task A can be complete. Just look at the diagram, then you can understand. Now going to task B, what is the duration of that? Hello? What is the duration of task B? 15 days. So for the task B, we can fill it here, 15 duration. What is the earliest starting date? That comes from the previous task. Right? So the earliest finish date is considered as earliest starting date here. So 5. Now the duration is 15. So earliest finish is 5 plus 15, 20. Then I go to C. Task C. What is the, from where it comes after B, right? So what is the earliest start? It comes from here, 20. So we put 20 there. What is the duration of task C? Hello? That is 10. So taken it there. So what is the earliest finish? 20 plus 10. 10. So as we can complete the other tasks also, like C, D, E, F, G, C. Hope you can understand. On our backward calculations, we complete the lower part. In our backward calculation, 2 steps are there. Forward calculations. Now we are completing the forward, and the second we complete the. Right? I hope that is correct. I mean that is clear. Now, one thing that you need to understand is there can be activities like J. Hello, like J that has more than one prior task. How can I identify? There are 2 lines. There are 2 flows. Understand it? Now for J, there are two arrows coming from C and D. Why? J prior tasks, C and D. So for a node like this, now we have an issue. We have an issue. What to consider as the earliest finish time? Because there can be two. I mean, depending on from where it comes, there can be different values. So for an example, C that is 30 coming and D that is 25 coming. Which to consider? Which one to consider? Well, we need to consider the longest time. We need to consider the longest time as the wherever it comes. So we consider the longest time and consider that as the earliest start. Understand? So when it comes to J, ES is 30, not 25. That's the rule. And duration for J is 5. So earliest finish is 35. Clear? Any doubts? Hello? Hello? Okay. Coming to an activity like K, there are 4 flows. It comes from different rules. So what is the principle? Again, same. From where it comes, we take the longest duration as the earliest start. So from J side we get 35, from G side we get 50, from E side we get 10, from H side we get 35. There are two 35s here. So anyway, considering both are alright, so we get the 35 as the ES. Longest. And for that we have 10 days. So earliest finish time is 45. And after this, we can also show this finish. This would be only this way. Finish. So that is 45 according to our calculations. In fact, what does that mean here? 45 days. Now we have received a value here 45. What does that mean actually? Project completion time. Although there are different tasks that has different durations. So when you add them together, how long it will take? But according to the project nature, project activity schedule, we will be able to complete the entire project by 45. That is the beautiful thing. That is why critical part is important. Actually, it's taking different 15 tasks, but we will be able to average start and complete. So in this, we can identify what is the total, what is the duration of the project. 45. Now we start the reverse calculations. That begins with the same value, putting as the lower value here. 45 taken as the same 45. So 45. Now we are going to complete the lower part of the node. So coming to the last activity here. So we take it from finish time and consider it as 40. Clear? Sorry, 45. 45 taken here as the 45. Let us finish LS. Sorry, LF. And from that we divide the duration here. 45 minus 10. Right? 45 minus 10, 30. Is that clear? From the lower value 45, we minus the duration and get 35 here. Hello? I hope that is clear. Coming to G, what is the latest finish, from where we get it? From this. 35 taken as the earliest, sorry, latest finish. Duration is 10, so that earliest start is, sorry, latest start is 35 minus 10, 25. Clear? Clear? Now here, J, 35 is taken as earliest, sorry, latest finish. 35 minus 5, 30. Now we have one quadrant to fill, that is slack or float time. Right? How to get that value? That is the difference between the earliest start and the latest start. The difference between these two. 35 minus 35, 0. 30 minus 30, 0. Here, 25 minus 5, 20. Got it? 25 minus 5, 20. That is how we do it. Any doubts? Let's expedite it and complete it. So we need to take a small break and so likewise we can go backward, because in backward pass using the lowest values. And we go back till the end. And accordingly we get we complete all the lower values also. Understood it? So that is how it is. Now we know the project duration. With this critical path analysis, we can also identify what is the critical path, or what are the critical paths if there are more than one, and what are the critical activities of the project. How to identify that? Well, you look at this slack time. You know, slack time, whether we have slack time or float time. If the slack time is 0, if there are some activities with 0 slack time or floating time, those are the critical activities. The project. Slack or float. If the slack time is 0, then we calculate. That is not given. We calculate it, and then those are the critical activities. And the flow that connects those critical activities, the flow that connects the critical activities is what we call the critical path of the project. The flow that connects the critical activities one to each other is what we call critical path of the project. The information is given here. If you go back and I did move to this slide, how to conduct critical path analysis. The critical path is the longest path through the network. It's the longest path through the network, and it is the shortest time in which the project can be completed. any delay in critical path activities, what happens? The delay is the project completion time. And critical path activities have no slack time. Say for example here in the example we identified here. So this path. In fact, in our example there are two critical paths. A, B, C, D, K. Right, that is one path, and in addition to that, we have another path. So A, F, H, and again K. Because it affects the project completion time. Right. So how to identify it? Zero slack time. Zero slack time. So these are the critical path activities: A, B, C, J, K, plus F and H. So to complete the entire project within 45 days, we cannot delay these critical path activities. We should start on time, complete on time. So that we need to prioritize such tasks. If we can prioritize it. Say for an example now here, task or activity G here, what is the flow time or float time? What is the float time? For the activity G, flow time is 20 days. What does that mean? That's time gap between earliest start and the latest start. So even it doesn't matter if you delay it by 20 days. 20 days, it doesn't affect to the project completion time. That's the reason. You can delay it even by 20 days. Especially if we run short of capacity, like people, some machines, some resources, we should prioritize the critical task, not the task with more flow time. Likewise, there are many users. We discuss only the basic things. Right? If you're interested, you can start studying project management. It's useful. How to start it, how to schedule resources and all. For an example, maybe a Gantt chart that can be developed based on the resource requirements. Now, A, B, C, D, different tasks, and the labor requirements are also given here. So we can estimate, right? We can estimate for each day of a week, each day of a month. So how many workers required for each task, and calculate worker requirements for each day. Machine numbers, fund requirements, other supplies, we can affect it. So hope you understand, like in many other topics, many other operations management responsibilities, here the focus is how to complete it, how to manage projects in the most efficient and effective manner, systematic manner. Because you can also manage it by 120 days. That is not project management. Project management is all about how to manage the entire project, the scope, within the time given, and the using the resources. First constraint that the whole while managing the quality, complete the scope. in the most practical manner, most efficient manner. These are the basics. You can learn more advanced techniques and other things as well. Like although it takes 45 days, sometimes client might require within 35 days. Like the president, before starting the election, they might want to open the facility. So, can't you expedite it by 10 days and make it ready to open within 35 days? That can be request coming from. So, you have to then plan how to expedite it, how to arrange the resources. Again, within the lowest budget. So, for that, you need to use project expediting techniques or project batching techniques and all that. Other details are there. And then practically implement these schedules is the most challenging part of it. Hope you remember I mentioned around 45-50% of project management is all about manage and control the process. The remaining 50-55% project planning and project organizing, project scheduling. 50% success, implementation. That is the most challenging part because as you go to the field, as you start the project and implement it, you come across a lot of challenges, constraints, work strikes. If you do the project outside sites, weather conditions, resources are not available when you need. Absenteeism. Manpower company agreed to send you 35 workers, but only 22. So manage those constraints and all. Still, make sure you deliver project deliverables because each period, each week, each month, you need to complete several phases of the project and make sure you deliver. Based on which your performance will be evaluated. Clear? So what did we talk about here? Basic concepts of project management. We identified that as very useful for operations managers and all the other managers. Projects are unique. They are not repeated activities. They are probably one-time activity. When you complete it, you are not going to repeat the same again. That is why it should be well planned and well arranged. And for that, project team is used, headed by project manager, and they are supposed to manage 3 projects within these 3 constraints. Triple constraints. What are those? Time constraint, cost scope constraint, and cost constraints. Managing these 3 aligning with the quality requirements. And for that, we identified 3 main project management activities. One is project planning. Second one is scheduling, project scheduling. And third one is controlling and managing. We discussed only the first 2 in detail. Certain details, project planning and project scheduling. Gantt charts and CPM that we discussed. There is a simple question coming from this topic also, most probably that study within the class. That's all right. Any big questions? Shall we go for a small break then? It's 10:50. Will you be here by 15 to 20 minutes maximum? We took longer time than planned, right? How about others? You came late. Maybe you can talk to your friends and understand what we discussed. How about others? It's more than 30 minutes. Then what I about others? Ini kan pinter kali, anyway, yeah, very limited time. I have another lecture around 12:30, so that I won't be able to take longer time. So let's try to start with the past papers, some questions. Then will help you developing answers for them, and let's see later whether we can discuss something related to this. Okay, let's start the material. It would be nicer if we had a full class so that you can understand what we discussed and why they are important and how about final paper and all. So we have almost come to the end of the semester. We were studying on a subject called operations management. I hope now with 10 plus topics we have covered so far, you have a rough idea now. Compared to other management subjects, what is in operations management? You should be able to understand it now because we have discussed enough topics, we have discussed enough details about the subject now. So we studied about the production side of the business. Or what we call the manufacturing side of the business. In modern businesses, we call it operations. Right. So like other functional areas such as finance, marketing, HR, and other departments like IT and all, we have this operations management, and that is important for our understanding. So as we already identified in our subject, operations management, that is important, that is critical in any industry, whether that is manufacturing, that involves in producing products, like in manufacturing industries, that involves in producing products. And also in the other industry, that is service industries, it involves in creating, delivering services. Right. So we studied about this. How in businesses, if there is a manufacturing business, how products are manufactured, how other manufacturing related decisions should be made, and in service industries, how services should be created and delivered through what we call processes, or particularly we use the term their operation system. So that is what we have discussed so far. Businesses, they use in manufacturing, and services, they use processes or operation systems in producing and getting and delivering. From the topic one, we identified designing such processes or operation systems, and then operating them is all about operations management. Operation managers are responsible for designing these processes or operation system and then managing it. This is how we understood it. So go through those initial concepts we discussed in the introduction to management, because there will be a compulsory question coming from this overall area. So you should be able to define what it is, what are the key responsibilities of operations management and operations managers, what are the key decisions they should make, and then of course what are the modern challenges they have. In addition to managing these, there can be newer challenges like globalization, how that affects operations management, sustainability concerns, how that affects operations management, and technology improvements, how that affects operations management. So likewise, You should be able to demonstrate that understanding, and that question will be compulsory. So based on that overall understanding of the scope of operations management, then we identify different responsibilities and take them as topics. We discuss about operation strategy, what it is, why for a business a long-term plan for operations is needed. That we call operation strategy. What are the different strategic priorities? We discussed about 5 priorities as I can remember: cost, quality, dependability, speed, flexibility. Right? So, according to 3 strategies, we call it cost leadership strategy. We call it differentiation strategy or response strategy. So those are the 3 main strategies we discussed in operations management. Find more details, so you should be able to answer what is operation strategy, why is such a long-term approach, long-term plan is needed, what are the benefits in having. Then of course, what are the different strategic priorities? And after that, we were talking about some other topics like product design and service design part. What is that? Why this is important for a business? And from theory side, what is the process recommended for product designing? We call it new product development process name. New product development process. So, why developing new product or designing new product is important for business? What are the steps recommended for that? What are the different approaches available for that? What are the latest concepts used in new product development and all we discussed? That's the third topic we complete. We were talking about operations capacity, right? So, as a main decision and main operations management topic, so whether that is labor force, workforce, or machinery, or any other production facility, there is a maximum output we expect. We can plan. That is called operations capacity. So planning that and managing it very important. So we discussed in detail this operations capacity. Why planning of capacity or management of operations capacity is important, critical for a business. So different steps we identify, different techniques, especially capacity modification. In case capacity shortages, what are the different strategies available? capacity modification techniques, methods we discussed. And that's about capacity. So in those topics, there were some calculations also. So be familiar with those calculations, those concepts, because sometimes in a question there can be two parts. One is descriptive, the other part is calculation. If you select that question, you should be able to answer both. To get the complete or the full marks. Likewise, we discussed about processing, process types, different processes, process types. So you should be able to identify what are the different manufacturing process types, service process types, how they are different from each other. Such understanding will be tested. The decision is called process selection. Process selection decision. So at least basics we should know about it because we have completed this subject operations management. We have also covered a topic on facility layouts. How physically resources should be arranged within a factory. Within service operations, facilities like branches, outlets, showrooms, department stores, offices. So how resources should be arranged within a factory, within an operation facility to smoothly manage the operations. And accordingly identify different layout types. So they are different, they are used for different purposes. Knowing those technical details would be important, would be useful to get marks. You can write down something and expect full marks. You can't. So you need to study those technical details we studied here and show them in the answers. Don't just write whatever you know, whatever you think you write. You will learn the answers, but you will not get marks if you have not used the terms, concepts that we used in the topic. We have talked about then quality management. What is quality? Why that is important? What are the different quality management techniques? Quality management would be an important issue. Then we have also discussed about how operating level jobs should be designed. What are the different approaches available, techniques available for designing work systems? Job design. Why that is important? What are the different techniques, approaches used in job designing and all? Productivity approach, demoralization approach, team approach, flexible approach. So find a little more details when you go through the lecture materials. When you recall your memory, you will understand. Was that the last topic we discussed? I think so. And then of course the last one, that is project management. So in those topics also you will have been able to cover only 10 plus topics. So So that there will be 6 questions in the final paper, out of which you need to answer 5, including the first one. So total of 5 questions, including question number 1. And in the question there can be at least 2 parts. So that is the question paper. So we can spend around 20 minutes, take some past papers, some questions that you select and discuss how to understand the question, and then how to develop a meaningful answer for that,